Yeah, yo, yeah, yeah, yo, yeah, yo, yeah. Tell me one more time. What do you think? I could probably do Showtime business. Anyway, guys, we're gonna do Shane Dawson and Rylan Dawson as well. Rylan Vlogs. That's his last name. I don't know. Anyway, I want to try to have a productive conversation about this Shane Dawson thing. I've seen multiple videos about Shane and Rylan having a kid. And I haven't posted them. I'm like, I don't know if I was necessarily super productive or constructive, rather, in my expression of my of this topic. It's a little annoying, the amount of hate that Shane and Ryland get, because it's undeserved and it's ridiculous. At its core, we're talking about specifically Shane, somebody who's had a jagged past. Back in YouTube, when it was acceptable to post insane content, they posted insane content. They stopped. And after they stopped, years after, people found it again and criticized them for content they'd already moved on from. I'm not going to sit here and say their apologies were very good. They referenced how their apologies were kind of bad and how they would get afraid and they would apologize out of fear sometimes, and they weren't always fully genuine. There's a level of truth to that. I get it. But at this point, edgy jokes. I make edgy jokes. I'll see people in general who will condemn somebody like Shane Dawson, but then they'll justify stuff like what Bobby Lee said. I'm thinking Bobby Lee's joke that was phrased as not a joke for as the years that he was doing it, probably worse. My point is if you can go, okay, I'm going to move on from that one, you should be able to move on from this one as well. You don't have to like Shane. You don't have to love this person. They made some edgy, crappy humor back in the day, but that doesn't define them as a person. It's time to move on, because all you guys going, oh my God, Shane Dawson is such a bad person, blah, 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 because they made some jokes. All your grandfathers are racist. So if you want Shane Dawson to be canceled, you got to cancel your own grandfather. Okay. All right. So that's a big thing. I've seen some other criticisms, like they criticized Shane and Ryland for doxing their kids. It's a silly argument to make. The number one thing is like they told us their full names. Well, Shane Dawson's full name, it's like Yaw or something, is also on the internet. Ryland's name is also on the internet. You could just Google Shane Dawson's real name, and it'll come up. You can we'll just do it right, dude. We're gonna do it. Shane Dawson's husband's last name, Ryan Bruce Adams. Shane Dawson's last name, Shane Leah. Your grandfather never did blackface? You just don't know, Emily. You just don't know about that. You're just ignorant to it. So for them to release their babies' names, what does it really matter? If you wanted to go harm the kids, you wouldn't need to know where the kids lived. You would just need to find out where Shane and Ryan live. Obviously, this is not telling you to go harm the kids. My point is that they're not in any danger from their names being released. When it comes to them releasing the babies' faces, all babies look like mushy mashed potato face. Nobody knows that you're not going to be able to identify this kid. I remember Ethan, I believe he showed his kid's face originally and then said, I'm not going to show my kid as time goes on, because they start to have distinguishing features. Perfectly reasonable. Now, if they start showing the kid's face later on, that's a new conversation to have. Not necessarily wrong. There's a lot of people who do that stuff, but using your kids as content or having your kids in content, that's a slippery slope. As a conversation for another day that I don't feel like having because it's not relevant right now. Right? There are people who are arguing, well, you shouldn't have done the in vitro. You're buying a baby, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. I don't even want to humor that argument. People do that sometimes. My wife and I might have to do something like that. That's life. They wanted to have kids of their own with their own genetic material, so they found a woman, and I think they each dipped an egg in a little bit of their sperm. They put it in her vagina, and she birthed 2 babies. Good for them. There are people that are like, they killed hundreds of other babies or whatever. Blah, 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 blah. They're embryos. Stop. Okay? You can't be pro-choice and then also cry about like a little fertilized egg that they chose from. All right? If you gave me a choice of egg, I might choose some too. I'd say, I want the one that's not going to be bald. No, you know what? I want the one that's going to bald earlier than me. I want my kid to be uglier than me. I'll choose that one. So yeah, I think I've covered my bases. If you have any other complaints, go ahead and I'll counter your argument. But I want to watch what Shane and Rylan have to say, because this is why we're watching it. Their vlog is them speaking out a little bit about it. So let's watch this. It's just the first bit of the vlog. Don't worry.
Hello, you guys. It has been
this guy got veneers. What the hell's going on here?
Wild, well, 3.5 weeks for us, probably 4 weeks by the time you're seeing this. Shane just edited this birth vlog because you really are.
Was it the same woman? I think so. Right? You put 2 babies in one vagina? Was it 2 women? I don't know. It might have been 2 women's vagina. I don't know.
So talented when it comes to editing, and I wanted to make.
So talented,
if we were posting this, I wanted your.
Shane, your jump cuts and Lon Ranch music in the background of your vlogs are so talented.
Touch to be on this, but we just wanted to jump in beforehand to kind of preface a few things.
Also, if I get emotional, it's because I literally just edited a montage and I'm just such a baby with that stuff. So
not all the fertilized eggs work. So you fertilize a bunch and then start throwing them in and hope that one stick. If you become pregnant, the rest are frozen and you can use them later if you don't. Interesting. Okay.
So I wanted to kind of talk about why I had a change of heart. I haven't fully had a change of heart. I think moving forward after this video.
Change of heart for what?
Posting the kid. And we've talked about it. We're kind of gonna not really show them too much. I think this video kind of started out as home videos. Like I wanted to film things for Jet and Max when they grow up.
For us to look back at too, because it's a huge moment in all 4 of our lives.
Yeah. And I think...
you could just film it offline, just to be honest with you. Other people can buy them too. Buy them so you can have children, and yes, 2 women. One woman's eggs, the donor, and the other woman surrogate. All right, how many vaginas were involved? How many birthing canals were involved? Was it one woman or 2? That's the question here, okay?
As I was looking at all the footage and putting it together, and maybe I don't think I'm going to regret this because I've got so many signs from God and the universe that this is okay.
Hey, beautiful stuff.
So I feel in my gut good about it, but as I was kind of putting it together, I was just like, we've been filming this journey the whole time, but even beyond that, like my entire life has been on YouTube. You guys have been there.
One birth vagina. Incredible. Thank you so much. I appreciate that one.
Sorry. You guys have been there with me through so much.
So good.
And as I was putting it all together and watching it, I was just like, it was so beautiful and I wanted to share it. And I know he really wanted to share.
Listen, everybody who's on the internet for a long time has a little bit of content brain and they want to share stuff that happens in their life that they're excited for. Okay, whatever. That's fine. However they move forward, even if they do start having their kids in content, I would hope that they do it as responsibly as they possibly can, which I think can exist. I think it's just hard to create those boundaries. Like, let's say you do have some vlogging type content. There's people on TikTok and stuff where they have like their kids and they're cute and it makes me want to have kids with my wife. It gives me baby fever. I'm ready. Nobody tends to go after them, but I think it's because they do it in a better way. You're a little less parasocial with the fans. Don't let your kids look at the views or the comments or the trends of how well they're doing versus not well, because it's a content creator. Getting a really good video feels really good. Getting a really bad video, view-wise, feels horrific. It feels catastrophic. It fucks with your brain. It puts you in a weird space. Raise your kids to do other things than to be content creators. Don't groom your kids to be content creators. Have them do other options like becoming a productive member of society, like a doctor or this or that. Don't try to manufacture situations just for content. I would say try not to frame the world through we have to record today. People who wake up and they put their camera on and then they pretend to get out of bed and then they go and then they're like, oh wait, smile, laugh, thumbnail, blah. I feel like there's a lot of those things that are the bigger problem than just the simple act of recording. But even so, the act of recording can be frustrating. Or can potentially be a negative, but I'd say do it as responsibly as possible. Don't talk about too much personal details about your kid on the internet. Maybe it's not super productive to go on and say, my kid shit all over himself today. Maybe that'll embarrass the kid as they get older. As they do get a little bit older in those 5, 6, 7, 8, 9s, talk significantly less about their life, because that's their personal life and their personal growth, and sometimes that could be a potential boundary issue. Like maybe they make a mistake or they do a little this or that, and if you're constantly making a pattern of talking about these moments, and a lot of them can be embarrassing, that might be frustrating for the kid. That means that kids at school are going to know what's going on. So there's a lot of things that you can do. You know, I would just say do your best to be more aware of as time goes on. Because honestly, I wouldn't doubt that these guys start making more content out of their kid. You know, they're content creators. Yeah. Also, as a watcher of their content, with my own fertility journey, I have appreciated this too. It's parasocial, but I feel like we're in it together. That's fair. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that
as well. So,
well, I mean, so many of you have been so invested in cheering us along this whole way, and in like, it's just a wild, crazy process that I know a lot of you are on too, just like having kids of your own or trying to have kids, that I just think it all makes us feel like more together. And like Shane said, I don't want to have them be the center of our videos moving forward. I feel a little different because like they will be unrecognizable from this stage of their life to when they're kids, toddlers.
They already are. Yeah. It's like, so even in the last 3 weeks, they look
Yo, it sucks. I gotta go to my wife's mother's house tonight to have pork chops for dinner. I want buffet. That's it.
Completely different.
And that's kind of like, we're gonna move forward going with our gut and just kind of doing what feels right for us. But we also, like, these are like private moments from our life and how we're doing things. You'll see things in the video, like even videos of them in the bassinet. There's some moments where there's blankets on them and it's like, no, we know that like safe sleeping is with nothing in the crib. That's because
Is it? I thought you were supposed to swaddle them so they can't move. You have to trap them in a prison of fabric. No?
because they were born very small at 36 weeks. They needed the extra warmth, and it's only when we have eyes
My wife just said in the chat, we're boycotting buffets in 2024. That's fucking horrific. Fuck you.
on them. They would never be
That means I'm just going to buffets by myself without telling you.
out of our eyesight with additional things in the crib.
We had nurses like really help us with that because they did have an issue regulating their temperature because they're so small. So the nurses were showing us like how many times to wrap them, the blankets to use, what's safe. But yeah, obviously you're gonna see pictures of them wrapped up in blankets and stuff. And I know that's not what you're supposed to do. But yeah, we are watching them 24 hours a day. And if we do go to sleep for like an hour, we take the blankets off. They're only in their swaddles. No toys, no nothing.
I thought a blanket was to swaddle. Whatever.
So
I don't care.
there was
I'll
that.
learn
Also,
this later.
this was just the first week. Ryland's mom came out to help us, which thank God. We're so grateful for her. So
Thanks,
you'll see
Ryland's
her
mom.
in the video, meeting them, and like my brother and Sandy came over. But my mom has been sick. She's not allowed to see them until next week. His family, some
Well, she got COVID.
of them couldn't make it out. So I don't want this to also like be like
Device, like, why isn't
why
this
is it
person
only
there, that
Ryland's
person?
mom? Like,
But we will probably show like some of the meetings in, like we documented some of our first Christmas, and this is strictly like
Their babies were born early. I thought you were supposed to pick the prime genetic material. You can't just put that back in that woman's puss. You can't just shove it back in. Say, no, we're not done yet. How does birth work?
just what happened to be the first week. It's
What's up, brother?
truly incredible and such a miracle. Shane and I like pinch ourselves every day, and it's
That sounds sexual. We didn't need to know about that.
just wild, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to us. So,
I'm just really grateful that
Cool.
well,
I wish I was grapeful because I want some grapes right now. I'm actually in the mood for grapes.
I hope you enjoy, and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Twins are typically born early.
Okay,
Interesting. All right, I think that's all. That's it.
it's happening. We got the call. It's happening. We're getting on a flight right now. It leaves in like 5 seconds. Our Uber's here.
I guess they're taking a flight. I don't know. And there's a dog. There's a mom. All right, cool. That's pretty much it.